We're back in the garage today, this time with the 2002 Yamaha FZ1. Suffered a little bit of damage here when it fell over in the driveway. The owner was putting it up on the center stand. The driveway was a 5-degree slant, and of course the bike was not pointed up or down driveway, it was pointed to the side, and that lends to the propensity for a bike to fall over on the high side, which was the case here. So when it fell, the bars turned in this way and actually crimped the handlebar right under the brake reservoir, pulled it back about 1/2 inch. So today we'll be putting on these new replacement bars. These were the last ones that they had in stock from Yamaha, and this very well may be the last bar that's OEM in the world, I don't know, but anyway, he managed to score these. That's what we'll be putting on, and with that we'll go ahead and see what we need to do to get this stuff off so we can put those new bars on. Okay, we're looking down here at the controls right now. Not a whole heck of a lot to remove. We're going to try to salvage the grip. So when we pull the handlebar weights off the ends here, we'll be trying to remove those strategically without damaging them. Then it looks like all we have to do is remove these controls here. There's obviously 4 bolts holding this on, the brake reservoir, and then you've got the throttle side. I've got an 8mm Allen wrench here on my breaker bar, and there we go. Go ahead and unscrew these. And the whole plug comes out. I've actually got the owner sitting here watching me do this, and he's all about it. But since we're doing a YouTube video, he's just going to be my director here and let me know if I mess up on the script that we never wrote. There we go again. Pretty clean, actually. Here's our little 8mm socket. Oh, that's already loose. Good. There's a few things here that really came undone easy. Hopefully that drop didn't have anything to do with it. I just want to move that in and out of the way because we're going to be working on the trying to get this grip off. So that's, there we go. I'm going to try to remove this grip here with a little bit of this blaster lubricant here, and I'll be just shooting some of it down in between the handlebar. And then I'm going to get a screwdriver and work it in. That should get us to where we want to go without having to buy some new grips. Being careful not to tear the actual grip while we're doing this. Okay, just working with it, and there we go. So it's loose, and there's the grip. You have to really wash this out. There's oil in there, of course, but it's not the type that's going to dissolve the rubber, but it does have to be washed out really clean, and then maybe some alcohol to get it to go back in and stick the way that it was. Okay, we're on the right side of the motorcycle right now. This is the throttle. There's 2 Allen bolts under here. I've got my long T-handled one here, and I'm going to work it right up by the cable and get these things loosened up too. There's one and another one right here. And yes, I did loosen these a little bit because I'm working with a selfie stick while I'm doing this. There we go. Again, I'm not going to take this apart. My goal is to just slide this off of the handlebar as one unit and put everything right back onto the new handlebars. There's one more of these on the back, and that one is right here. I'll go ahead and get that taken care of there. You can see the split here where this is going to come apart, and you've got your throttle sleeve inside here, but the 2 cables are wrapped around the wheel. So I was hoping to pull this out as one unit. I'm not sure if we can do it. We'll see. Okay, with those loosened up, you can see when you start to gradually pull this apart, there's that hole. There's a little keeper that when you slide your new one on goes in there, and that keeps the assembly from turning around. So you're going to have to make sure on the new bars that you line it up with that hole that's right there. Here's the new bar showing that that little indent There's the hole that we were talking about right there. Next, we have to address the reservoir here. I've got a, what is that, a 5 millimeter, and you've got two Allens right here that you need to work with. And once those are removed, this becomes loose as well. There's some wiring that's under here too. So the method I'm using, where I'm not actually disassembling anything, this should come off with the unit. I won't have to address any of these wires. All we have now to take care of are these caps right here, which will show us some more Allen bolts for the handlebars. There's 4 of those there. And then we can start removing this. So I got a 6 millimeter here, and we're just going to go in and loosen all 4 of these up. Being careful, because you know what, I might put something down. A lot of tank damage happens when handlebars slip down after the fact, and I don't want to be party to that, even though.
Or when you drop a bike on a concrete driveway.
Or when you drop your bike on the concrete driveway, exactly. So let's go ahead and loosen those. Wow. Okay. So anybody going for a different or taller bar, you're going to have to really look at your cables and your electrical connections. I just looked at this one. There's a little bit of relief, but not enough from what I can see on the front. I'd have to take off the gas tank, see what's clipped or wound up underneath it to see if there's any room for something like that. Luckily, we're just using stock bars here, and it should go together fairly simply. Okay. Here's one. They're actually staying pretty much in place. That's good.
Been on there for 20 years, dude.
20 years. I love these old bikes.
Me too.
Okay. So the plan is, of course, to move it over this way and get enough relief to pull this off. Turn the wheel a little bit. Oh. And the same with the clutch. And those can kind of hang out there. And then we're going to go ahead and remove the throttle and the brake reservoir assembly. And that's that. Here we're just lining up the 2 bars. You can see how the ends are very close right here. The rise is almost exactly the same, if not exactly. And as we work our way this way, look at that crimp right there. That's how far back this bar came when it contacted the driveway. And that's the reason for the replacement. Somebody might want to put a pipe on there and straighten it, but of course, anytime it bends like that, the metals become weak and it's not safe anymore. So these bars are ready to be discarded. The only prep I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this with a little bit of silicone spray. I like it because it doesn't harm rubber products and it doesn't really gum anything up. And looking for our little indent that we had right there. Careful not to miss it. When you can press these together and it should just drop right in there. It's right up here on the side. See, it just went in. I can feel it with my thumb. So I know that this is perfectly lined up and that throttle is going to be stable. Okay, we're on the left side of the motorcycle now. We've got the clutch control here. Bars are loose, giving us plenty of room to get our other stuff on. Here comes our electrical with our little choke lever hanging there that I don't want to come loose. Just kind of easily move that on. Might take a little bit of finagling here. Can be seen. I'm going to go ahead and loosen the screw just a little bit. Give it a little bit more relief. It came off really easy. And that is all we need to do. Oh. And again, everything is loose, both sides right now. After we get the handlebars centered and get them to where we want to be, then we can start dealing with the rest of it. Okay, I'll go ahead and do the bars now, put the clamps on. I'm not using any Loctite at this point because I don't want to lock anything down until the owner sits on the bike and gets the handlebars where he wants them. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to tighten up the top clamps first. Again, I'm going to take these out one at a time and do Loctite later. But for now, we're just going to get everything situated so we can get the hand controls back to where they should be. So the throttle is set mostly by the factory specifications, being that there's an indent on the bar and there's really no other place to put it to make it right. So I'm going to go ahead and snug those up. And of course, there's one on the other side here, and that will take care of that. We'll get that positioned properly for the rider, and we'll move to the other side of the bike. There's our final nut here for the clutch lever. And we've got our distance all set, everything. I use alcohol on these grips to get them reset and also to clean off the handlebar. Some people might want to put a little bit of grip goo on there just to give it some extra adhesion. Just going to pour a little bit in here. Shake it up real good. Take out the excess, and while it's still wet, I'm just going to go ahead and pop this right back on to where it was before. There. Handlebar ends. Just go right back in place where they were. Just like that.